And as I kind of mentioned to you, at the end of my career in the music business, I remember the record companies getting excited about ringtones. Like I worked with Natasha Bedingfield. It was like, we've reached 1 million ringtones sold. And it was on the cusp of everything changing. You don't need a record company to be successful. You don't need them to pave the way, because technology and social media and all the ways that you can reach people on your own, there's no gatekeeping that anymore. Your cream rises to the top, and you don't need somebody to invest a lot of money and then take a huge percentage of your earnings for the rest of your life.
Knowing what you went to school for, let's go back to your dad for a minute. When he says you're going to work for free, but now you said what you went to school for has totally changed. If you had to do it all over again, what would you have done differently? Because the industry has changed so much with the technology.
You know, honestly, I wouldn't change anything. I mean, that was the time that I grew up. That was the time that, I mean, there was nothing to change. I mean, that was the way of the world. And I'll be honest, like, I really feel like I got to be in the business during the heydays when it was very much.
It was a meet and greet, and you really
like
got
it was
hands-on experience with the artists.
Right. It was like grassroots. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like, it was an exciting thing to be a part of. You know, there wasn't like, oh, here, I'm going to send you a YouTube link to watch this new artist. It was like, hey, we're doing a showcase in New York, and they're bringing in people from all over the country to come and watch these artists. Well, now, I mean, again, I haven't been involved in a long time. I don't know if they really still do that, but that's money that doesn't need to be spent on something like that. So, but at the time, it was like there was a lot of money being spent for bringing us up to New York and taking, the conventions. That's something we always looked forward to, is there'd be 2 or 3 record company music conventions that might be in Sacramento, it might be in New Orleans. I mean, it was always super fun places, and the record companies would bring in their artists, and it was just a big schmooze fest.
Your kids know any of the artists that are...
This literally happened like last week. I'm in the car, and my son, who's 13, says, "Oh my gosh, is this Unwritten?" And it was Natasha Bedingfield. And I said, "Oh yeah," it was on the radio. I said, "It is." I said, "Do you know, I actually worked with her." I said, "She did a show in Cincinnati, and I had to drive her to Michigan. We had to go to Grand Rapids the next day." And he goes, yeah, that's great, Mom. Can you turn it up? Like, he did not care. He did not want to hear my story. Nothing. I also had a friend that was that I met at the 930 Club. He was a Secret Service agent, and he loved music. And so we exchange information. So when my friends would come to town, or record company, radio station people, I would reach out to him. We would all go meet out for dinner about 4 blocks away from the White House. I would pay. I had a company credit card. So I'd have a table. There'd be 6 or 7 of us. I'd buy him dinner. We would walk over to the White House, 9, 10 o'clock at night. He'd show his badge. We would all go in the White House, and we would get an impromptu tour, because I did that with him 3 or 4 times. The tours were never the same, because it was, we'd walk in, he'd be flipping on lights. And this is
Is that against the law?
It wasn't 20 years ago. No, you could not do that today. That's what I'm saying. And I feel like I worked in the music business when it was good. But I was telling my kids, so like one time when we went, we got to see the movie theater. One time there was one of the guys that worked on the grounds. He let us all look through his night vision goggles, he's like making sure nobody's. So I'm telling my kids that my kids are like 2nd, 3rd grade, because they're a year apart, and they get in the car, and my son is like, "Mom, we've been talking about the White House, and did you know there were 9 kitchens?" And my daughter's like, "Oh my God, can you imagine?" And I said, "You guys, I've actually toured the White House." And I start to tell them the story I just told you. And my daughter's like, yeah. "Oh my God, if I were president, I would say pajamas every day." Like, they just don't even care that I've actually been there. Like, I'm like, okay, guys, that's cool. Good talk.